This is reading number 5, Letters to Dennis, A Dedication of Love by Bob Tussler. February 9th. Dear Dennis, Sunday, a day of rest. Ha! God did that, not me. Wake up. Cancer is the first thing on my mind. Looks nice outside. Let's maybe go for a bike ride and clear our heads. While getting the bikes out of the shed, I stood up too quickly and hit my head on the ceiling. Damn! Of all places to hit, direct connect on the surgical scar. The skin still tender, tears easily. Great. There goes any possibilities of becoming a surgical scar model. So much for the fortune I was going to make doing the centerfold spread and craniotomy monthly. Alright, let's try to do something different than that we would normally do. We'll go dancing. I want you to know how difficult this is since I don't feel comfortable in public. Don't ask, it's a cancer patient thing. Initially I'm alright, but then while watching people dance my mind really starts to drift. Why am I the one with cancer? This always happens to someone else. Will I ever be happy going out again? There are no guarantees in life. It can change in a minute. Good example, brother Bob, a paraplegic because of a motorcycle accident. I don't know if we'll live to 80 and 85, or 50 and 55, or 40 and 45, but I do know that I'm lucky to be alive and that I do love you. It's time to stop dwelling on the negative possibilities of what might happen and start enjoying the daily things that I know I do love. Good plan, I'll try to commit. February 20th. Dear Dennis, let's not do anything today except go to the gym, get toasted, radiation, and then meet Marge for dinner. Make it a light day. I sure could use one. Had a short meeting with Dr. Allison, the radiation oncologist, after my treatment. She said I looked good and she was happy to see a smile on my face. She's happy about the smile. I'm surprised I know how to do it. I left Dr. Allison's office feeling positive. Now let's see how long that will last and what little innocent statement will take me into a pitfall. It's here, and from all people, Marge. Once you get cancer, there's no cure, only remission and cancer-free. People will unknowingly say things that will hurt you. Discuss it. If they love you, they'll listen. Don't be afraid. Only the unknown can hurt. February 21st. Dear Dennis, left work early today. Just couldn't concentrate on all I saw. And all I saw was sickness everywhere I looked in the nursing home. Support group tonight. What an experience. I thought we would be the only two attendees. Enter Liz, the group leader, with a small shopping bag of leaflets and various information on brain tumors. Second arrival, Kathy. Her husband has a tumor in his brain stem that is traveling down his spine. He was incapacitated for over 6 weeks. Martha, the chaplain from the hospital, was third to show. Incidentally, she said she remembered me from 2 East at St. Joe's. Lastly, latecomer Vicky, whose fiancé still has his tumor. Everyone has a story. She and Mark were engaged for 1 month when he started having problems. Doctors recommended a simple biopsy. No problems anticipated. They assured him it was not an extremely risky procedure and that 99% of those who have had it done come out fine leaving the same day. Who believes in numbers? He happened to fall into the 1%. According to Vicky, the doctor hit good brain tissue doing some damage. Mark is now collecting disability, never to return to his former position as an environmental geologist. He can't read, has seizures, and mixes up words in conversation. 32 years old. Everyone in the group is having problems with seizures. Liz expects to be taken Dilantin for the rest of her life. I can't believe how really fortunate I am. Detected the tumor early, had the craniotomy, no residual effects, started radiation early, and developed plans for chemotherapy. I have an improved mental attitude, which is very important, and oh yes, let's not forget the vitamin program. Again, as I said yesterday, I know cure is not here yet, but remission and cancer-free are, and that's what I am going to do. With each passing day of being cancer-free, that's one more day researchers get closer to a cure. I have to keep hoping. February 22nd. Dear Dennis, stayed home from work today to catch up on paperwork. Started the day off with a little reading from Bernie Siegel, Love, Medicine, and Miracles, and his experience with exceptional cancer patients. The stories have an inspiration for hope. Knowing that there are exceptions to cancer means death and to doctor's prognosis makes me believe that I can be one of those exceptions too. You know me, I've never done anything conventional or accepted anything simply because someone said it was so. This is going to be no exception. I'm going to do this. Surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, vitamins, you, and a good outlook on the whole situation is going to keep me alive and with you for a long time to come. I enjoyed watching mindless sitcoms on TV tonight. I remember not too long ago all I could do was stare blankly at the TV and not process anything. Doing much better now. Wonder if a week and a half of Zoloft helped. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to be taking an antidepressant. I needed some help to elevate my mood to a point that I could at least be receptive to hearing something other than the negative all the time. It's working. I'm feeling positive and know I'll either beat this completely or put it so far into remission I'll never see it again. Almost forgot. Wanted to say thanks for the walk and your listening ear and patience. I know we talk about this all the time. It seems as though it consumes our lives. It's only been 5.5 weeks since the initial diagnosis. Your comment of, "we'll never talk about anything else," really made me think. Is there nothing else in our lives, or am I doing this to us? More time and it will happen. Please keep being patient with me. February 23rd. Dear Dennis, I'm learning that a lot of what is going on with me can be controlled with a positive mental attitude. I don't know why I dwell on the cancer, especially when I look at my physical condition and listen to the stories of other people in the support group. I think the sooner I realize that I should take advantage of what I have now instead of dwelling on the what ifs, the better off I'm going to be, especially with my own self-healing. I mean, seriously, everyone is going to die someday, no avoiding that. The neurosurgeon did an excellent job with my craniotomy, but who the hell does he think he is projecting how much time I have left to live? 6 to 9 months of quality life. The man may think he is godlike, but only God himself knows what we will be called, when we will be called. As I told you before, there have been so many times when I could have died but didn't, so obviously I was meant to survive this whole ordeal for some reason. I am doing much better than I was, and I'm sure you'd agree to that too, but I still have my moments, and that's alright. I can't be supercharged positive all the time. February 24th. Today wasn't so bad early on. Went to work, did 2 evaluations, and for the time I was working I actually stopped thinking about the cancer. It's real important to continue to do as much of your life before cancer as it is now with the cancer. Believe me though, easier said than done. 3 p.m. As it has been for the last 2 weeks, radiation treatment. Today I'm greeted by Steve, my technician, who first thing off tells me that Dr. Allison has decided to remove one of the lead coverings. She knew that hair loss was a major concern to me and apparently had a lead covering designed to protect me from losing so much hair. However, she made the decision to remove that covering starting today as to not compromise any of the treatment to the tumor site. After treatment, Steve could see that I was preoccupied and felt the need to say, "Hey, this is the treatment if you want to live." Give me a fucking break. Don't stand there and try to pacify me with statements like that when you can't possibly imagine what I'm going through. Angry, bitter, upset? Yes, I am. For the past 10 years, it was me who received that little bundle of joy while the children were still out playing. What a treat it was for me to go to Graham Tussler's house and escape from the realities of home. Of course, Graham Tussler's house is my home for the early years of my life. Anyway, she continually reminds me about how my parents would dump me at her house so they could go play. Apparently, when they returned to pick me up at the end of the day, I screamed and yelled when my mother tried to take me. I'm almost certain there is no deep hidden message locked away regarding the screaming. No cuts, bruises, or other signs of physical abuse. But I mean, Jesus, I was dumped so many times I didn't know who the hell my real mother was. I'd love to sit back and blame the whole situation on my father. God, how the thought of that man makes me ill. But sorry to say, my mom, the angel that she was, contributed to the situation just as much. I don't know who to blame for that situation or if blame is necessary. For as long as I can remember, Mom was always in the background in everything. Only once did I ever see her open her mouth and backtalk my father. Not a pretty sight. Perhaps I'll tell you about it later. Anyway, where the hell is all this rambling going? Oh yeah, Graham's house. Graham Tussler seemed to derive some sort of pleasure in the fact that I thought her to be my mom. Maybe at the time it would have been good for me. Treated nice, got to dust the knickknacks, and had access to all the candy I wanted. Incidentally, if you ever visit my grandmother's house, she still keeps all the candy in the same place she has had it for the past 25 years, under the cupboard on the left side of the stove. Go to the door on the right first, otherwise you'll just get cereal. The best stuff is kept in the coffee cans that she has wrapped with contact paper. Never could figure that one out. When I stopped to think about it, there were a lot of things covered with contact paper in that house. Picture frames, lampshades, borders around the top of the walls, tissue boxes, but nothing lining the cupboards. Therapy issue. I keep digressing. What am I avoiding here? I was a cute little baby. Take a look at my photo album. Sweet, innocent looking with big brown eyes. I looked like the kid on that Gerber baby food box, but carried myself better. I was the type of child that any parent would have been proud to take to the park and show off, or just sit around the house and watch me play. Where the hell did my parents go all day long, and why didn't they want me? I know I was wanted by someone. Why else would Graham take me? But there were times that even Graham wanted me out of the way. I was over at her house one time watching the kids on the playground. Graham's old house was right next to Sturtevant Elementary School, and during recess all the kids would be right up next to her backyard. I was just happy staying in the house. The place was huge and so much to do. Remember, I'm 5 years old. A size 6 shoe is huge to me. The basement was an adventure in itself, let alone the rest of the house. But for some reason, Graham felt the need to have me play with kids in the schoolyard. Come on, honey, go outside and play with the other kids. I don't want to. Bobby, come on, let's go outside. It's nice out. Graham, I want to play in here with you. I want you to go outside and play with the other kids. Damn, she meant business and wasn't taking any hostages. Better go outside and at least fake an attempt at this kid playing shit, or she might dump me as well. It never lasted long. I would go outside and look at the kids through the fence and get so scared about being with them that I would hide behind the pear tree or in the garage. The pear tree was a neat place to hide because it was this old rotted spot that my grandfather had filled with cement. It was shaped just so that I could put bugs on it and pretend I was a doctor. You have no idea how many bugs lost their limbs before dying on that cement slab. The garage was the place where I could prepare the anesthetic. Cans, bottles, and jars filled with stuff that had mixed together and doused the bugs in before surgery. Any bug that actually survived the anesthesia would eventually meet up with a grisly death, so I guess it was to their advantage to just give it up during the pre-operating procedure. After stalling for time and giving the impression that I was out playing with the other children, I would return to tell Graham that I was done and could retire to the basement. More surgery, perhaps. Graham, however, did not feel as though 15 minutes of playing with the other children was enough and sent me back out, until the bell would ring for the kids to go back into school. After a while, I didn't even bother arguing with her anymore, just went outside and waited for the bell to ring. Sure felt lonely plenty of times, but at least there were no bugs in Graham's yard. The next reading will be reading number 6.